This podcast is not sponsored or supported by any business or organization. The views reflected on these podcast episodes are my own. Be aware I am not a medical doctor, travel agent, or any other kind of expert. But I hope you still enjoy. Hey friends, welcome to the Gluten Free Advocate, a Substack and podcast that helps me process my health journey and my determination to pretend that those health conditions don't exist at all. If you're looking for tips, tricks, and learnings for traveling the world with celiac disease and type 1.5 diabetes, you have come to the right place. Now, let's get started. The most beautiful part about doing a podcast for multiple seasons is getting to have repeat conversations with folks. If you listened to an earlier episode with Lauren from the Good Gluten Free Grub podcast, you're going to hear us having a two-parter conversation. Better yet, today I'm having a conversation with a pal of mine and a great supporter, James Hammond. He has his own podcast, Winging It Travel, and the last time we spoke, we didn't talk about anything related to celiac disease. And I encourage you to pause this podcast right now, go to the show notes, and take a listen to the first episode that we did together. It was all about travel and his experience of just going with the flow. And now, since we last spoke, his partner got diagnosed with celiac disease. And that has, as we all know, a big impact on travel. So we got to talk a little bit about that. And I got to actually help James through his journey with his partner and ways that they could still travel everywhere and anywhere, even though she has celiac disease. And although planning will be involved, there's always room for magic. So excited for you guys to hear this conversation and all that and more. Make sure to check out this week's episode and continue listening to the Gluten Free Advocate. Hello, James. Thank you so much for joining me again for another go-around of this podcast. I'm so excited to be chatting with you.
It's an absolute pleasure, and thanks for inviting me back on. It's going to be an interesting and different chat this time, I think.
Yes. I know that you've been through a lot since we last spoke. It makes it more and more relevant to this podcast, which is about celiac disease and traveling. So excited to talk about that. But I just want to, if you don't mind giving the folks a big catch up of last time you were looking forward to trips to El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico. How did those trips go, and what have you been up to since?
Yes,
which is a big, huge question. I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's okay. No, yeah, I did go to El Salvador and Guatemala and the southern part of Mexico in one trip. Very interesting. I was on my own, solo, tripping through the land borders. So that's always a fun part of travel. And El Salvador was a bit of a unknown. Still probably a bit, not dangerous for people, but maybe bit insecure about it. They're not sure if it's safe. They've been told it's safe, but they're locking up prisoners and all this sort of stuff. So really hard to gauge if you're not planning to go there. But anyway, if you do, I can assure you it is totally safe. Even the locals are a bit like, we can't believe this is happening as well. So they love tourists. They want you to come and see their country. And for the first time in 40 years, they've not had a civil war or gang-related warfare. So they feel a bit more free. It's like a new country almost. So that was a great trip. Learned a lot. And then late last year, I went to Bhutan, which is number one on my bucket list. And Bhutan was incredible, as good as I thought it would be, for 11 days. And then I popped to Australia and Bangkok in the same trip. So that's what I've been up to. And in amongst all of that, my partner was diagnosed as being celiac probably a year ago. So that was between those trips. And we're now navigating this new journey.
Yeah, that was, interesting when you wrote to me and mentioned that this was now become a part of your life. And we spoke obviously before this diagnosis. So I don't want to speak too far out of school. This is your partner's health journey. But from your perspective, how have you seen this whole thing evolve of a celiac diagnosis? Were you having to watch your partner suffer too much? Has it been like a breath of fresh air with this diagnosis? I imagine I know it's not as tough for you as it was for her, but
yeah,
it's still tough to watch someone that you care for go through a tough time, presumably. But I would love to hear your experience on that.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting journey. I don't know if you speak to a lot of people who have this, but
Mm.
we're both actually getting blood tests at the same time for different things.
Okay.
And I know Emma was feeling for the last couple of years maybe a bit uncomfortable with
Mm.
after eating and stuff like that, but never thought. Well, she's trying to work it out, but never thought to take it seriously or go down the celiac route, right? So anyway,
Right.
we had a blood test. We both got results back at the same time, roughly, and her doctor, my doctor as well, rang up and said, "Oh, by the way, look, this thing we're testing for is fine, but
Mm.
oh, by the way, I think you're celiac." And we're like, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, the score on the blood test, I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. They have like a scale, and I
Mm.
think it's 12 or below. You are not celiac. If you're in the higher, like around 10, you're probably like intolerant. But if you're above 12, they would say you're celiac." So she went for an extra test, which is a endoscopy. Is that right? Where they put the thing down your
Endoscopy. Yep. Yep.
yeah down your throat, and I can't do that. And
Yeah.
yeah, that really confirmed it for her. But she was 250 plus. So we always thought
Mm.
since that call that she had it, and then it was that weird period before that endoscopy
Right.
where you have to eat gluten to get tested, and then she wasn't feeling great, so we thought, oh, okay, this is actually a thing. Got the results back, confirmed, and then since that day, it's been a whole life change because I'm zero point 0.5 on that scale, so I am not nowhere near gluten like intolerant, and I thought I was. So that was probably the
Mm.
biggest shock. And then what happens is, this might sound a bit crass, but I didn't take it seriously in
Right.
terms of travel or lifestyle. I thought, oh, do you know what? You might have to give up some foods, etc. But as we went on through the months, I'm actually now gluten free at home because it's too dangerous to contaminate. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So that's at home, and then travel is a whole different discussion
Right.
as well.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's interesting. I have a similar story of getting diagnosed kind of on accident. That
Yeah,
wasn't going, I mean, I was 15, so I wasn't really going to my doctor with any complaints, but yeah, it's funny how so many folks are just like, "Oh, I thought it was normal for
yeah,
us to have, stomach pains after eating." Um and, and I'm it's funny, for a long time I would have partners without that didn't have celiac, and now I have a
yeah.
partner that does have celiac, and what a difference
Oh,
in
okay.
that too. But good on you, because so many folks would not be willing to go gluten free at home. I don't think you're abnormal in that you're not taking it quite seriously in the beginning because you're not seeing the impact that it has. Um, I mean, why would you? You never needed to. So I commend you a lot for, on behalf of the celiac community, for being willing to eat completely gluten free at home. I'm sure that makes your partner feel really supported as well. Not to put words in her mouth, but
Yeah, yeah. No, she really appreciates it, and I think my mentality sometimes, hence my podcast is called Winging It.
yeah,
I would wing it if that was me. I'd be like, oh, do you know what? I'll have it occasionally. Who cares? But
yeah,
actually, when we start to go to webinars about it and realize the effects of not just eating it but contamination, we're like,
mm,
well, I was like more, okay, no, we can't really take this too liberally. We have to actually be quite strict with it, and as best as we can. I I know each person has a different level of reaction to gluten,
hmm,
so I'm not sure if someone could be celiac but actually feel okay maybe sometimes by having gluten.
yeah.
I'm not sure, but Emma does get reactions, so we do have to be aware of that.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is a scale. And I love going to celiac social events because, as nerdy as it
Yeah,
feels, you're learning so much about the gamut
yeah,
of what it means. But just for all of us that have family members that are listening to this podcast, and we're trying to explain to our family members of what it means when they don't take it as seriously, and when it's realizing putting one spoon in one gluten free container and putting that spoon into gluten filled or vice versa. What advice do you have for family members that are struggling to be there for their family member or friend in that way?
yeah. The first thing I'd say actually is get tested.
Mm,
So I don't know what you feel about this and in terms of your experience, but so Emma's got celiac, right? So
hmm,
in our minds, we're like, well, okay, well, she's got two siblings,
mm,
two half siblings, parents, obviously. Like, you should be getting tested as well.
yep.
And they've got kids. I'm like, so first of all, don't don't think because oh, if I get tested and I have celiac, means I can't have pasta or bread again. You can't think like that. You've got to go and get tested. So the
Right.
first thing I would say is get tested. Um, but in terms of helping your partner and your friends as well, I just didn't have an appreciation for this until she was diagnosed. Where I think if you're going to go round someone's house, you've got to appreciate they're not going to have gluten in the house, and you're going to have to accept that and support them
Yeah.
in that way. Don't bring stuff that got gluten in it. Don't do that. Don't like disrespect the disease or the condition. I don't know what you call it. So please respect the non-contamination stuff, because contamination is really hard to control outside of your home. So if you're in someone's home, please respect it, because it's probably been the safest place to be for a celiac.
Right.
So
Right.
that's super crucial. And of course, going out, traveling around the world, or going out for dinner is different, because you have to rely on the restaurant. You can never be totally 100% like guarantee that they'll be celiac friendly, but I guess people will do their best unless it's a fully celiac establishment. So we've been like working that
Mm.
sort of mentality of, okay, well, we'll ring up the place and make sure they are aware of celiac, and then our test is we mention celiac, and if they know the word, it's a good start. If they're not sure what the word means, we're like, no.
Yeah.
That's not enough. So yeah, I just kind of would say to people, just be respectful of this condition, because it can be really crucial to the person if they are contaminated. I mean, my friend at home who got diagnosed, I think 2 months ago, he gets sick, like physically sick,
Wow.
which is not the extreme Emma goes
We're
to, but
infiltrating,
if
your
he's
life.
contaminated in any way, yeah, he's sick. So you got to respect these conditions and the ailments that come with them. Um, I don't actually think it's a big ask to have gluten free bread, gluten free pasta. I really don't. Gluten free beer,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't think it's a big
Yeah.
thing. Really don't.
Uh, I love all the things that you're saying. I You brought this up before, and when I re-listened to our first episode, and I encourage everyone to go and listen, that and I'll have our first episode in the show notes. People can go back and listen to all of it. But you travel a lot solo, and you wing it. You don't really plan. But now that you and Emma have to, whenever you guys travel together, it's really difficult to just wing it when celiac disease is
Yeah.
involved. So how do you guys map that out on your journey? How do you compromise so you're still able to keep your spirit but also travel safely?
Well, yeah, that depends where you travel to. I mean, we went to Victoria on Vancouver Island, which is a celiac's dream if you want to go and spend a weekend eating and not being too fearful, because all of their restaurants, that seemed, are celiac aware and make the best provisions for celiacs in terms of the food preparation. So that was our big test, and we passed and no reactions. So Victoria, BC, great.
Okay.
But that's easy because you can communicate in English about what you
Mm.
need.
Hmm.
Um, I think going forward, I think we're going to have accommodations with at least a mini kitchen in them, because the safest way to maybe eat is probably have the option to cook yourself, because
Mm.
supermarkets will have packaged stuff that will be gluten free.
Right.
So I think traveling wise, in terms of different countries, that's going to have to be a strategy. And we haven't tested like maybe someone like in Asia yet.
Mm.
Um, and we're a bit worried about it because there's so many things in Asian food that you can't have as a celiac. And
Right.
I think soy sauce is one. I mean, it's crazy. So we've got to work that one out. But I think Europe and North America seems to be on top of it. Like Italy is very well averse in this sort of stuff because they have a lot of gluten in their diet, but obviously they realize part of the population does have celiac. So I think Emma's probably more comfortable in countries like France, Canada, USA, Italy, UK as well. Has got a great
Mm.
gluten-free
Nice.
range. So I think we're probably going to travel together in the easier countries for that, but
Mm.
it's now more restricted. It's not winging it. I mean, we would normally say, let's go to Bhutan, right? But
Right.
now it can't be that. It's like, oh, but does Bhutan have options where I can eat? This is for Emma. So this is the new question. It's more about that rather than the actual country now sometimes, because if she can't eat, then what do you do? It's not really
Yeah.
enjoyable, is it? So yeah, the food comes first actually now, which has never been the case.
Yeah, I highly recommend following Celiac Sarah Explores, and I can send you her information on the side.
Yeah.
She's actually on a long trip, year-long trip with her husband, and they're currently traveling through Asia and
Wow.
finding different gluten-free options. So I'll send you her information. Hopefully
Please.
that's
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
incredible. And a good friend of mine, I got to travel with her in Australia, and it was a great experience. Another country that's pretty darn good, with Sydney and Melbourne in particular. If you guys
Okay.
ever go there, I can give you some places and names. But
Please do.
hopefully, yes, hopefully it become your community is widening now with this experience
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the celiac community. We're always willing to help and put our noses in where they don't belong. But I yeah. Do you now, when you go and travel to all these different places, are you making more of an effort to keep an eye out so you guys can still be a little bit spontaneous of when you
Yeah.
go to some country and you're like, man, here's a gluten free place I didn't anticipate. I'll have to bring Emma back here one day.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not gluten free, so
Yeah.
when I travel solo, I do normally just go for it. Even but saying that, I do get some after effects. Maybe I'm used to now not having gluten every day. I mean,
Right.
I probably have it like once a week, maybe
Right.
max, and that's like for one meal. So I really don't have it much anymore compared to what I used to.
Mm,
But yeah, I'm always traveling solo on a lookout. Like, oh, here's a gluten free or a celiac friendly place, and we're making notes, we're making saves on the Google Maps, everything you can imagine for each of
right.
the places that we individually go to all together. And the next place we're going to actually is going to be a big test. Is going to be French Polynesia, and we have no idea. Like this is going into the unknown. We don't speak French either, so we're going to have to really figure this one out. But we are staying in nice hotels, which is quite rare for
Mm,
me because I do hostels and stuff. So maybe there should be provisions for gluten free. But I've sent a few messages out, and they're not totally understanding of what celiac is. So
mm,
it's going to be a challenge there. But they do have supermarkets. We've got 2 Airbnbs and 2 nice hotels that have a kitchen available. So
nice.
we are making provisions. Yeah.
How does this, because it's funny, right? When people hear about us talking about celiac, they go, well, it's not cancer, and it's not, but it's still greatly, it is considered a disability in the States, and there's a reason for it. It greatly impacts life. On your podcast, does this change how you discuss and talk about travel, or are you able to kind of put it, compartmentalize a little bit better of this is what I do at home and this is what I do with my partner versus this is what I do with winging it travel?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've never really been a foodie,
That
controversially.
helps. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess food has been part of my travels and content, but actually
Hmm.
not a big part.
Right.
But now you asked this question, and now we went to Victoria at Easter. I'm now thinking with my content that I'm going to be providing a lot of YouTube and podcasts on
Mm.
gluten free stuff. I think it's going to have to be key because I actually do want to help the community. I'm not sure how big the community is in the travel space.
Oh, big.
Um,
I'll send you some folks. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I mean, that's the folks that we know of, but how many people
Yeah.
are actually just celiac and they obviously are not in the travel
Yeah.
community, but they are trying to look for resources or for
Yeah.
information? So I think I'm really going to lean into the celiac portion of this now of my travels and release content and put it in the keywords so people can find stuff because I think it's key now because we can't travel without this. So this is now part of it.
Right.
This is the
Right.
big part of the travel. Yeah.
Oh boy, do I wish. So you guys are still traveling. It's not slowing you guys down, but you are being more particular about where you go together and then just going on the adventures of a lifetime where you can go with the flow and winging it. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, we went for a year trip in 2023, which was
Mm-hmm.
before the diagnosis, right? And that was obviously
Mm-hmm.
an amazing trip. And then we haven't actually traveled since then because yeah, went away for a year, like your
Mm.
friend that you mentioned earlier. And we like, oh, okay, we come back, we had no money. We went to all these amazing places, but we need to get back on our feet. And we knew that would take 3 to 4 years with some trips in between, right? So
Right.
we're now in that third year Yeah. So 2.5 years back from that. So it was never on the cards anyway. Like a big part of like that trip was never going to be repeated again, not
Mm,
until at least 2027, I'd say.
yeah.
So nothing's really changed apart from the diagnosis. So I think when the next phase would probably be we might relocate to Europe,
Mm,
might leave Canada maybe. Because the weird thing is, I don't know if you also have this if you travel to Europe. Like we just think the food is better there than North America. I mean,
yes.
I'm sorry to say for your audience, but I feel better. Emma feels much better, and she seems to lose a bit of weight over there, same as me as
Mm,
well. So there's something in the European ingredients that just sits better with us. So I think longer term we are going to relocate, but that won't be for another 2 years maybe. So that's the next
yeah.
phase. So I don't think there'll be another big like winging it wanderlust trip coming up for both of us, but I am still going on a few solo trips just to keep the content coming, right? Because I do have
Yeah.
more vacation time available than her in my job, so I get to go on more trips. Um, yeah, it's just yeah, life has kind of taken over the last couple of years since that trip, which is not a bad thing. It's just
Yeah.
a part of life, right? But
Yeah.
like you say, like when we come to winging it again in the future, it's not going to be full 100% winging it
Yeah.
because part of it is planning. We're going to have to plan.
Yeah. A lot of planning, like the backups for the backups too.
Yes. Yeah.
And please know that you could always reach out. Gotten to tour quite a bit of Europe with celiac, so happy to share any and all resources that I have with you guys if that
Oh,
makes it
please. Yeah,
easier.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get back to you. We've talked enough about Emma without her being here. I appreciate
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate her letting us share her story. But how is everything going with the podcast and YouTube channel, and what direction are you hoping to kind of take all these things with your creativity that you've got?
Yeah. So the Winging It podcast, since we last spoke, has joined a network. So that's pretty cool.
Exciting.
I signed a 2-year contract in November 2024. I was in El Salvador, actually. Yeah, I think I signed
Oh
it there.
wow.
Interestingly. That runs out this year, but I think that'll be renewed. I think there's discussions will be quite positive on that. So that means I make a little bit of income. It's not like huge, but like you must know this, that a lot of effort goes into these podcasts, and you don't
Yeah.
necessarily get compensated for them. So it'd be nice to somehow get compensated with all the episodes I've done. I've done over 350, I think now. So
Oh wow.
uh, I'm working towards that being part of my income. My YouTube, which is called Roaming with Hammo, is monetized. Don't get paid a lot from YouTube. It's tough to get views especially that pay for ads. So I guess where I'm taking it all is I am a podcast producer on the side, which does pay quite well. So I guess I need to build that side of the business up for me to leave my job and be freelance. I guess that's the main aim as we speak to today. And I think that's probably a year, 18 months away in that bracket. And then that'll be the next phase. But I think I need to get out of the full time corporate job thing, which I'm in at the minute, which I had to go back into because I had no money end of the last trip. So I'm working towards that with some trips in between. Then when I'm in brackets free, I think there'll be more travels on the horizon. I'm thinking Central Asia and South America and Central America again. So I think I'm going to be doing a few ideas. You know, I might do a daily vlog, a daily podcast. I might do some more concentrated podcast series. Yeah, I've got
That's
a
exciting.
few ideas in my mind for the podcast. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and then I'll look to build up business on the side for other podcasts where I do more of the back end stuff. So that's the plan.
Yeah. I asked you this question the last time, and I'm always so impressed by the variety of places that you're willing to go to. I live vicariously through you because of my celiac disease. There's places I will never be able to go to that I get my wanderlust from you. So thank you for the content that
Okay,
you post. I appreciate it.
no worries.
And I know we talked about this a little bit last time, but as far as places to go and see, is there any place left on your bucket list that you haven't been yet that you'd like to go to?
Oh yeah, there's loads. I mean, French Polynesia is actually number one
Nice.
because I've always had a weird obsession with paradise. Like, is there paradise on Earth? Like, where is it? So I guess I'm still searching for that. Cook Islands is pretty close, I'd imagine, but French Polynesia's there. I think some islands in the Indian Ocean are probably on my list, like Nicobar or the Andaman Islands, Maldives. But in terms of like non-paradise places, I think Central Asia is a big pool. I think Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, they're all, I wouldn't say untouched, but they're all an area of the world that many people don't travel to. And I think there's still just enough edginess to go there and learn about stuff about seeing it on Instagram or even podcasts or YouTube, right? I think there's enough variety there and a bit of unknown there. So that's a big area of the world. I'm thinking Africa is going to be a big part of our travel is going into the next phase of travel, but that won't be for a few years. We're always talking about that. So that's the southern, southwest portion, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, going into Zambia, Zimbabwe, that area, Tanzania, Kenya, Ethiopia, all that area. So I think we're planning that in the future. And Emma has never been to South America. So for celiacs, I've learned that South America and Central America is great because they have corn-based meals, which is a godsend for celiacs. So like when I was in El Salvador, I was having like corn-based meals, right? So that's great for celiacs. So Emma's aware of this, and we're like, no, South and Central America is high on our list for both of us. So I think I've been there before, but I want to go again and experience it with Emma. So I think that's probably on the list. Yeah, that's off the top of my head. I'm going to Finland and Estonia in a few weeks. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's kind of off the top of my head. I did do an episode of the top 16 places, I think, and I've missed loads there, but that changes every day, so I'm not sure what today is, but they're the ones I can think of now. And a bit of Scotland as well. I've not experienced much at home. I've barely travelled England that much. I've been to Scotland once. I've not been to Ireland apart from Dublin, so all this sort of stuff is on the list as well.
I say it with a New York accent, so forgive me, but Edinburgh is really great for celiac, and Leeds in northern UK, surprisingly, has some great gluten-free restaurants there.
Leeds, okay,
yeah,
right,
never.
That's great to know.
Yeah, I picked that town on accident because it had the best prices for Airbnbs in the UK, and it ended up working out for me. So,
oh wow, okay,
yeah.
I've never been to Leeds. Yeah,
not much going on except for there's a lot of banks, but great gluten-free restaurants. Great home base, I guess, if you want to try and go to Manchester or Liverpool, Scotland. Yeah, it was my home base to go to all these different cities I wanted to go to but couldn't afford. So I highly recommend. I feel like I can just give you lists upon lists that you're not even asking for, but
no, please. Like in the UK, like specifically, what are the best places that you went to? I'll be keen to know this for celiacs.
Yeah, London obviously is number one. I haven't toured too much of the UK, but Liverpool was pretty great as well. Had a couple of options there. And then, like I said, the most surprising one was Leeds. And I had never heard of Leeds until I went there. So I was pleasantly surprised. But London's going to be your biggest variety for sure in the UK. And then Scotland, Glasgow, and Edinburgh. Edinburgh was better, but Glasgow also had some options. Dublin, also great. Yeah, I think that pretty much ran the gamut of what I got to see in the UK, unfortunately. But you'll have to explore additional cities and let me know.
Yeah, that's more than almost I've been to. So yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Always keen to understand my home if they're better than here. I think they are. They're pretty switched on in UK with they've loads of options for vegan stuff. Emma sort of was vegan, but since the celiac thing is not anymore because I think you end up eating nothing pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think it's tough. Yeah, I think she is always on a lookout in the UK of places to go. I mean, London's obvious. I mean, London's always going to be for options. It's going to be the best. But even where we're from in Norwich, I'm not even sure how good the options are there. So that's a new blog post and a vlog, I think, in the future.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. I can't wait to keep following all of that. Super amazing. I had another question, but it totally left my head. But I also have taken up a ton of your time and want to just make sure we give your podcast and your YouTube channel, blogs, all a shout out. So before I get into the rapid fire questions, do you mind just letting the folks know where they can find you?
Yeah, so it's a Winging It Travel podcast that is on all the apps, and it's part of the Voyascape network. So voyascape.com, voyascape.com. Loads of travel podcasts on there. I think it's about 10 we have now on the network. I think it's the only place specifically for travel podcasts. So there's no other like business podcast or anything. It's only travel podcasts. So it's a great resource if you're looking for information on loads of different areas around the world and different variety of podcasts. And my YouTube is called Roaming with Hammo. That's on YouTube, and that's probably every 2 to 3 weeks I put a video out. I used to do every week, but when you don't travel full time, you do run out of content, so you need to stretch it out a little bit. Yeah. I also co-host another podcast called Taking a Career Break, which is all about career breaks. If you're working full time, if you're looking to take a break, it might not necessarily be travel, but it could be just part travel, part having a rest. We talk about Katrina's book. She released one for dummies called Taking a Career Break. And she's also celiac. No, she's gluten free because she's very intolerant. So not celiac, but almost. So she doesn't eat gluten at all. She told me that Avignon in France is one of the best places to go for celiacs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's where she had the best time for food.
Oh, well, there's also a town in Spain. I'll have to find it. That's 100% gluten free as well.
Really? That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's on all the podcast apps as well. That's on video, and you can check that one out as well. So I think that's pretty much about it. And yeah, I've got a website, wingingittravelpodcast.com, if you want more information. So that's me.
We'll put all the links to all of the fun stuff in the show notes for sure.
Amazing.
Alrighty. So last time we did this, we're gonna give it a go again and see how you feel this go around. But the new question is, when do you find yourself needing to advocate for yourself the most?
Wow.
I'm curious as a non-celiac what your answer would be.
God, I don't. Oh wow, that's thrown me. I've never been asked that before. I'm not even sure what advocate even means. Like you speak up for yourself, right? You push yourself. Oh God.
I can give you examples if that's
Please,
helpful.
can you give me one? I'm sorry.
So, no. Normally, when I'm usually interviewing somebody that has celiac disease, so they're finding times where they have to speak up for themselves the most at the doctor's office because they're not listening or being attentive to their needs, or family even, or restaurants will be a common answer. But it's being a little unfair to you and asking you this question because you don't have celiac, and so who knows? It could be a whole gamut of things that.
Yeah. I think where I do it the most, actually, this is quite an interesting and slightly deeper topic, I suppose, and it is family, but it's related to, I guess, this perceived lifestyle of travel because it's so unconventional. You must interview people who, like your friend who's traveling for a year, unconventional. Who travels for a year? Not many people, right? So when you don't have that guaranteed salary every month or every 2 weeks, and a mortgage or kids at my age, or you're not married at my age as well, all these questions constantly get asked and constantly get questioned all the time.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm advocating for myself that I am not interested in a lot of those things, and I'm doing it this way because of this. So I think it is mostly family, a couple of friends, where I would advocate myself for that because it's so unconventional compared to them and they don't understand it. And I guess it's almost looked down upon, that lifestyle. So I guess it's there, I think.
Yeah, I would say I have a similar thing that I have gotten judged quite a bit for my desire to travel. And when I would be asked, well, why do you want to do that? I don't even know how to answer that because there is no why. It just is. It's part of your identity at a certain point. So at least hearing you say that helps me feel not so alone. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry that you have to deal with it.
That's okay. No, it's part of life.
Yeah. Where, in your opinion, is the city with the best food?
City with the best food. Let's go with Bangkok.
Very nice. I like that. Where is, in your opinion, the best city for exploring?
Best city for exploring. This is so cliche. There's quite a few.
Give them all to me. Go for it.
Okay, I'll give you two because it could be here for ages. I'll give you two. Paris, cliche. I love going to Paris. I'm going to Paris in August for a couple of days, and all I intend to do is pick one area. They're called, I can't do French, arrondissements. I can't pronounce it.
Sure.
They're in numbers, right? So you can stay in area 10, area 1, area 2, whatever it is. I think I'm staying in area 10, and that's the location I'm going to spend my 2 days, and I'm just going to wander and see what I find. No rules. Just if I want a coffee break, I'll have it. If I want a croissant, I'll have it. If I find a nice little place for lunch, I'll have it. If I want to sit on a bank with some cheese, I'll do it. If it's by a canal river, I'm going to sit there. No rules. And so Paris is great for just wandering for me. On foot. Don't get the metro, just wander and wander. And for craziness, number 2, Tokyo. I mean, what a place. So many things to see and do. Unbelievable food, unbelievable people. It's so big, 25 million people. You can get lost in that city big time. So I think those two are very different, but equal in my eyes for wandering around and exploring. Yeah.
Oh gosh, Tokyo's on my bucket list. They're finally getting a good gluten-free structure going on there.
Yes,
so,
I think it's a matter of time, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then my last question for you: where is the city where you learned the most about yourself?
I would say, I think it actually might be Melbourne. I think. Yeah, I lived there for 6 months back in the day, and it's the first time ever probably that I earned some decent money. So I thought, I can do a job where I can earn some good money and not minimum wage. It's the first time I was a bit free and I lived like a normal lifestyle, a bit more mature maybe as well. I matured there quite a lot. I went away in 2013 for 6 months, and then 2014 for 4 months, and in between that, I definitely matured. I think Melbourne's a big part of that. So I think I got to live I got to see what a lifestyle could be in terms of good food, good lifestyle, good weather, good job, lots of happening things, good friends that I met at my job and at my hostel, and I moved into an apartment. So yeah, I think that 6 months, 7 months in Melbourne was a big turning point in my life, I think.
Oh, I love that answer. Well, listen, thank you so much, James, for doing this again with me. It was a pleasurable conversation last time, and it's still one this time. And I hope we do this again. It would be really nice to keep in touch.
I think the next time we do this, if we get to, will be more travels as a celiac, almost like a celiac couple. So I think, I give it a few years, and we'll have some more stories and some more insights into what it's like to travel around the world, I think. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to share this conversation on my podcast as well, because I think it's so important, and I'll get you on my podcast to talk about your experience as well. So that'd be pretty good.
Absolutely. Always happy to spread the awareness as much as I can. Alrighty, well, thank you, James. So good to talk to you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me this week for an episode of the Gluten Free Advocate. For more information on what's discussed on the podcast, check out the episode description and/or my Substack, The Gluten Free Advocate. If you have any questions or fun stories to share, feel free to reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Till next time. This episode is produced by Leigh Francis Productions.